States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll start with trying to go around for roll call.
John Jones. Chuck Putnam.
Van Geiger.
Gary Walter, present. Clint Staggers.
And James is still out of town. Are there any changes or additions to the agenda? Seeing none? Good, we'll get started. So the first item on the agenda is the letter regarding 114 Aspen Lane South, and I put myself and Ken Barnett on this. I got a phone call on Friday from a resident that has been having some issues regarding a pothole out on Aspen Lane South. And it seems to be, according to the letter, there's been some issues on getting this resolved, and so I thought I'd bring it to council and hopefully workshop that we can discuss it and try to move with a resolution. I don't know if you all had a chance to read it. Sorry, I just got it Sunday. That's why you didn't have it in your packet. So, but I got copies to everybody. I want to give Ken Barnett an opportunity to discuss it before council discusses it.
Okay, I've been out and looked at the pothole. We do have some pictures of it. That is a problem on Aspen Lane South. I brought this up I did talk to Gary and Josh briefly about it, and what came out of that conversation was that because it's not an emergency issue like a water main break or a sewer break, because this is a private road, we can't do anything about it. I also talked to our city attorney about it, and he also said the same thing. Because this is a private road, we aren't able to do anything about it. That would be gifting of public funds.
So I have a question regarding, there was an understanding that the city could fix it and that citizens could pay it back, that there's something like that we have done in the past, and that the citizens are all willing to do it at 15% interest. I didn't know we would charge that.
No, it's not 15% interest, it's an admin fee, but we don't do that for paving. We've done that in the past for a water main break and a sewer break, but we've never done it for paving.
So, questions from council?
Do we know what the underlying cause of the pothole is? Are we sure that there isn't a leaky pipe under it that's causing it all, that could roll in funding?
We're not. I mean, it is possible that, but by the looks of the pothole, it's more just a improperly installed road.
Our good soil?
Yeah. There's not enough subbase on it.
Councilmember Jones?
Well, I was just going to say that the fact matters is still a private road issue that we got to deal with, and anything we do would be, I would agree, it's gift of funds.
Councilmember Staggers?
In the past, we have had some issues come up about some utility problems on that street. I don't recall what they were, everything. I believe one of them was the problem with storm drain. We'd have to go back or either that or talk with some of the residents that have been there for some period of time, because it's been an ongoing situation. City help us, but we can't because it's a private drive.
Right.
And I don't recall all the incidents anymore. I mean, it's been off and on various things over the years. I know that we tried to get, Mrs. Colts has been dedicated to the city, and she refused to do it.
Right.
And I believe at that time, she was collecting monies for the sewer. I think she was charging them for the sewer. That was years ago. So that's why she didn't want to release the dedication to the bill. And now, there's been a little misunderstanding on this.
Yeah,
the lady called me, and that was the first that I really heard about this, at least that I could remember. And I found out that I did not hear about it before. Today, the lady called, talked with my wife, and said that I had heard about it before, and I had not heard about it before.
Right.
I was in the hospital, so I'd like to have that clarified.
Right, I do want to apologize, Vicki, I apologize. I was mistaken about Clint being there at the meeting, so.
So, when I drove by there today, I went and looked at it, and, I didn't see any signage saying it was a private road, so that was news to me that it was a private road. Normally, there's a sign underneath that says private road. And secondly, when does it become the city's responsibility if garbage can't be picked up, mail can't be delivered? We still put, that still goes on the citizens?
Yes, it's just like a driveway. To give you an example, third place, southeast or southwest, over by the river, is also a private road. I don't believe it says private road, and then also Portland Court is also private.
So there's how many,
There's like three.
there's like a dozen houses on that road.
Correct. And we've done water main fixes on third place, and I believe we've done one on Aspen Lane towards the front of the towards the front of the street, but it's always been utility emergency issues. We can't allow water main to leak because of backflow issues. Same with sewer, you can't allow sewer to leak either.
Councilman Snyder?
I believe, if you'll check in the records, I think that the first, coming off of First Avenue, going south, first probably maybe a couple hundred feet, was dedicated to the city. So that part of that road, I believe, is under the umbrella of the city.
We have a portion of property that's been dedicated, but the road doesn't actually sit on that property.
Oh.
Councilmember Putnam?
You know, have they looked into recently bringing the road up to standards and dedicating to the city? Would that be, how much would that cost compared to just doing this pothole fix?
In order to bring the road up to current standards, including the sewer, water, and storm, engineering estimates are about $1.2 million.
And the pothole is the size of the whole street.
You could lose a Volkswagen Bug in the pothole.
Well, that's why I was wondering, you know, how much more it costs to fix the whole thing rather than just the pothole.
I got an estimate on just fixing the pothole was $500, but just to pour asphalt into the pothole is not going to solve the problem.
So this did go to committee, are you saying, or you just talked to committee members?
It went to committee, and I talked to committee members, but it did go to the committee, and they just said not to, we couldn't do anything about it. And then, like I said, I'd also talked to Ken Luce the same day. But and Clint is right, he did not know anything about it, so like I said, I do apologize.
So it's our position that the citizens are on their own?
Correct. We are meeting on Wednesday with the city engineer and the mayor to discuss the issue some more. I have,
City engineer.
AHBL. I have tried to get the citizens together to maybe do an LID or something like that, where we could go in and actually bring it up to current standards. Most of the citizens on the street don't want to do anything. I have like 2 people on the street that actually want to fix I have Vicki, who would very much like to fix the road, and I know she would, and is not afraid to pay for it, but the majority of citizens don't want to.
Councilmember Volsky?
Is that road owned by one person, or is it jointly owned by the residents?
It's jointly owned by all residents.
So that they would jointly be responsible for the repairing it?
Correct.
Councilmember Putnam?
Is there an existing road maintenance agreement among the owners to maintain it?
That I don't know. I haven't seen one.
And if it's not going to be brought up to code, thought that's being done elsewhere in, I know Kent has a plan for this in many neighborhoods, what would it cost to take it back to gravel to lower the cost of maintenance, even though it doesn't need more frequent maintenance?
I'd have to check into that, I don't know.
because I know Kent is, there isn't enough money to fix lots of roads, and Kent moving some of their residential back to gravel.
And that'd be something that the residents would have to decide if they want to do that or not.
Okay, and so you said that you're meeting on Thursday?
Wednesday.
Or Wednesday, I'm sorry.
At 12 o'clock.
Is there any way you could bring a report back to council
Sure.
on Monday, what the status of that meeting was? That would be great. Okay. Any other questions from council? All right, next item on the agenda. So, Algona Court interlocal agreement. Kelly? Thank you. Can you give us a brief report on the changes?
There was a request by Algona to go through the interlocal services agreement and
Who is the microphone closer to? Thank you.
clarify some of the terms that we had and change some of the wordings that we had. For example, Buckley Jail is no longer in existence, and so they want to change it to, say, a contract jail. Little changes like that that don't change the actual agreement, it just changes the wording and clarifies it more. Yeah. Do you want me to go through everything, or?
Yeah, unfortunately, ours aren't red. Well, the changes aren't red on our copies, so if you could, thank you, I appreciate that.
Well, the first change, okay, so item 1, it delineates, it says Pacific, now it's going to say Pacific and Algona, and the judge is entered in on that same sentence, the very first sentence. Clarifying that it's alternative detention sentences. Let me just read the paragraph.
Sure, you can just kind of tell us where they're located and then.
Well, you have the addendum, I believe, and that has just the changes.
Okay,
That'll be the new wording for that
okay,
area in the agreement.
okay.
So the first one, we didn't take out anything. The next item, court was in italics, so we put it in regular font.
And that's where?
It should be item number 2 on the addendum,
Okay.
and then item number 3 on the addendum. We took out provide and pay. The City of Pacific shall provide and pay. Changed it to arrange for all language interpretation services. Subject to section 4C11 below was added. Item number 4, and sorry. Under screening services, we added the last part following the applicable state or federal guidelines. Item number 5, we changed it from Buckley Jail to a contract jail for all appearances in Algona Court instead of Pacific Court. Item 6, the filing of ticket. When a person is booked into a jail facility, Algona Police must, we added deliver personally or via email or fax. We changed the time from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Item 7, we added, after the word incarceration, we added that rest of it, which may include EHM with transdermal alcohol monitoring as a jail alternative while awaiting trial. Item 8, we added in parentheses, court security after bailiff services. Item 9, we added any recoupment, we added the word received. And then we changed, instead of interpreter's fees, it's interpreter fees. And added the word court after Pacific Municipal. Item 10, under distribution, after the words probation fees, which may include record check fees, mandatory insurance costs, time payment fees, deferred prosecution fees, and credit card convenience fees. The way that our monthly remittance reports print out is broken down in those different line items, and Algona wanted it to clarify that those were costs at Pacific fees. Item 11, we added the words "and King County" after state of Washington in the first sentence. And then in Pacific assumes responsibility for making such payment to the state as, we added the word "an agent." Item 12, it used to read local court revenues include all fines, filing fees, forfeited bail, penalties, court cost recoupment. We changed it to local court revenues include all fines, forfeited bail, penalties, recoupment of costs for incarceration, public defense, and interpreters. Item 14.
There are 13 on monthly reporting.
Yes. Item 13. The monthly reporting, we added the word "filed" after listing Algona cases filed and revenues received. Item 14, we added the word "arraignments" for matters heard on the regularly scheduled Algona municipal calendar shall be arraignments, pretrial hearings, motions, etc. The section B of that same, item 15, excuse me. Release hearings, used to say "and arraignment hearings," now it just says release hearings for Algona defendants. Item 16, in the sentence starting "the court will," we added subpoenas, or issue subpoenas for, took out the word "use the." We added witnesses identified by the pro se defendant and crossed out police on either the back of the Algona citation or the police report. Item 17, the original interlocal agreement did not have a termination date. This one, I don't know if it was just left out or if it wasn't included, so there's a spot in there for that now. And then 18 is everything else remains unchanged.
Questions from council?
Just one clear back on item 1, EHM, assume is electronic home monitoring.
Correct.
And I just was wondering if that should be spelled out the first time it's used, so before just using the acronym.
I can do that.
But I'm all in favor of using it where it takes from.
Councilmember Walker.
So on the last page, it has a signed for by police chief in Algona and John Calkins here, shouldn't that be you or the judge or, the two police, even though it's court?
We just provide the services, we're not the contracting department.
Okay.
Any other questions from council? Has this been sent to the city attorney?
Yes.